wrote this Clarinet Rhapsodie in 1910. He lived from 1862 to 1918. He had already written his most famous works by this time. So he was nearing the end of his life. So he'd already written Afternoon of a Faun and La Mer and the things that you probably know. But he was on the board of the Paris Conservatory, and Gabriel Fauré was the director, and he assigned Debussy to write a piece, a competition piece for clarinet for the graduate students, so they would have to perform the piece in order to graduate. And so that's this piece. And but it's far more than just a technical exercise. It's a brilliant miniature sort of tone poem. I call it a painting in time. Okay, and that's my own idea. So I'm going to elaborate on my own sort of vision of what this piece is. I will, however, tell you how Debussy put this thing together. In the beginning, the piano starts with very open notes. You almost don't know, there's no chords or anything, no rhythm. The clarinet plays 3 notes. And then the piano starts again. So it's 3 notes, it's almost like a question. It leaves you wondering what's going to happen next. Then the piano starts just like the beginning, and I repeat the same 3 notes. So Debussy adds a little bit to the melody. Okay, so those 2 little melody sections that I just played for you are what Debussy builds this whole 9-minute piece on. He continues the same little theme that I just played for you, and then transitions into a beautiful, gurgling, kind of watery piano accompaniment. Sounds like this. Then the clarinet comes in with another melody. It's a new melody, but if you think of the first 3 notes, he basically plays those backwards. And then continues it from there. So you'll hear that. Okay, so I call that melody the sunrise melody, okay? And then after a few more bars of transition, he goes into what I call the soaring melody. It's very beautiful, arching leaps in the clarinet. Now that's unrelated to the very first melody, but it's absolutely beautiful, and obviously Debussy likes it as well, because he uses it many times in the piece. So now I've just played for you the little melody sections that you'll be hearing throughout. He repeats the same slow sunrise melody an octave higher a few bars later. With a much thinner piano accompaniment. So you'll hear, every time that melody comes in, it'll be a different accompaniment underneath. Then we go to a little, what I call the storm section. All this is happening like every 10 seconds something changes. So you have to really pay attention. So now this is a couple bars. So that's the little storm section, I'm going to call it that, okay? And then we go into what I call the first melody variation. Bear with me. Think of the first 3 notes again. Slight variation, or they all sound similar. They're all a similar shape. Debussy takes any one of those 3 and plays with them throughout this entire piece. So we have very similar to the first theme, but a little more playful. So you can see how he built on that little theme. Then he goes through another transition back into the soaring theme. Remember the one with the big leaps in it? This time it's much higher and very soft. transition into a scherzo, a faster section for contrast. Here's the scherzo. Very playful. Think of this, remember the beginning of the melody? Well, that little second part, what I call the tail, if you listen to it, if I take it apart, you see how it relates? We have okay? So he just builds on that little germ throughout the entire piece. So you'll hear that theme several times with lots of little variations, lots of changes. Then he does the soaring theme again, which we hear again. Then it transitions back to the sunrise theme, the very smooth, placid one. But this time it builds and builds, and you hear the soaring theme again, much higher, much louder. The piano's playing tons of notes. Everything is just like blossoming into a huge sunrise or a huge cloudburst. And then the clarinet's left alone with another sprightly, very fast melody with lots of notes, flourishes, almost like fireworks. And then that transitions into yet another faster section, which I call the bacchanal. And it's the sprite, but much faster and building up to a raucous ending. And the very last three notes that the clarinet plays, see if you can recognize it from the very beginning, same shape. Right? Okay. So that's the Debussy Rhapsodie, gorgeous little piece of music, written to be particularly tricky for the clarinet, mostly because he writes very high and soft lyrical sections, challenging the control of the instrument. And I have to tell you, there's one part in the end where he writes, there's 4 keys here and 3 keys here, all work with these, my pinkies. He writes a passage that uses all 7 keys. It's brilliant. I mean, Debussy didn't play clarinet, but he certainly understood the instrument enough to put something quite challenging. So really see if the student knows all their fingerings.